see the podium, Commissioner Abbey?
I cannot. I can see now.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Chair, one more minute, I'll get the agenda. Dave, are you ready?
It's 5:05, I will call the July 28th Steele County Board meeting to order and ask you to join me.
Mr. Chair, we do need to note remote attendance at this particular meeting before we go any further. So live and present in chambers this evening, we have Commissioner Krieger, Commissioner Brady, Commissioner Glenn, and Commissioner Prokopek participating remotely using a means by which he can be seen and heard. We have Commissioner Abbey.
Have you join me in the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there any additions or corrections to the agenda?
I don't have any.
Board's wishes.
I'll move the approval of the agenda as printed.
Second. Motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Mr. Chair, we do need to roll call vote because of Mr. Abbey's remote participation. Commissioner Krieger.
Aye.
Commissioner Brady.
Aye.
Commissioner Glenn.
Aye.
Commissioner Prokopek.
Aye.
Commissioner Abbey.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Public comment, if you wish to share your thoughts, please provide your name and address after being acknowledged by the board chair. Each speaker has 2 minutes to express their remarks. Steele County promotes respect in both its work environment and boardroom. Speakers should maintain dignity and show respect towards others. Comments should be directed to the entire board, not to an individual commissioner, official, or staff. Board chair may limit comments if they are argumentative, disrespectful, or redundant. Please avoid name calling or abusive language as you state yourself and being asked to return your seat or leave the boardroom. No action will be taken on items presented during the public comment period unless they are on the agenda. The board may refer some inquiries to the county administrator for follow-up. Is there any public comment at this time?
Colin Whalen, 2435 Briarwood Place. Plausible deniability is the ability of a person or a leader to Plausible deniability is the ability of a person or leader to reasonably deny knowledge and of or responsibility for any wrong actions because there is no clear proof linking them to the event. How it works: no direct proof, lack of hard evidence or paper trails makes the denial believable. Intentional distance. Leaders stay uninformed on purpose so they can claim they did not know. Last meeting, when the new records retention policy was discussed and then ultimately adopted with data deletion cutoffs at 14 months for emails and 30 days for messages, it was mentioned that the county would save what it needs to as it related to important or sensitive data. With no official policy around those comments, other than the overreaching 14-month, 30-day hard cutoffs, how are we to believe that important and relevant documentation is being preserved? Who decides what is important enough to keep? Is there oversight of this process? It becomes the prove we destroyed needed and relevant information after the only record that existed to prove that has been destroyed. Comments were also made during that same meeting that county employees don't have time to go through all of their emails and messages. So again, we are supposed to believe that sensitive and relevant data won't be indiscriminately destroyed. This policy is reckless and should be removed prior to implementation. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any more public comment?
Melissa Zimmerman, good evening.
2 weeks ago, Eastside Corridor residents asked Steele County straightforward questions about its new digital data retention policy. We wanted to know whether the policy had been approved as required under Minnesota law and whether it could legally change how long public data is retained. We received no answers from the county, but the state of Minnesota did have answers. The state archives, on behalf of the State Records Disposition Panel, confirmed that Steele County has no approved additions or amendments to its records retention schedule. They also stated that the county's digital data retention policy does not meet the requirements of a records retention schedule, has not been submitted to the panel for review, and does not provide authority to change retention requirements. The Office of the State Auditor states that government records may be destroyed only under an application of authority to dispose of records approved by the State Records Disposition Panel, or under records retention schedule approved by that same panel. Those are not my words, they are the state's. Rather than answering the residents' questions, the county attorney in his official capacity made concerning statements about community organizations and members of the public, while continuing to assert that the county is in full compliance with the very state authorities that stated the county's digital retention policy has not been submitted for approval, does not meet the requirements of retention schedule, and does not authorize changes to minimum retention requirements. This has never been about attacking county staff. It's about transparency, accountability, and following the law that governs public records. Residents raise these concerns because as taxpayers, we are concerned about legal positions being taken by the county attorney are exposing Steele County to unnecessary legal risk. We are trying to prevent lawsuits, not create them, by asking that concerns be addressed before they become legal liabilities. So tonight, I have a simple question for the board. Since the state says your digital data retention policy has not been approved, will the county submit those changes to the State Records Disposition Panel before implementing them? The public deserves clear answers. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any more public comment at this time? Seeing none, we'll move forward to the correspondence. Is there any correspondence?
None this evening.
Move on to the consent agenda. Board wishes.
Motion to approve the consent agenda as printed. I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the consent agenda?
Roll call vote.
Roll call
Commissioner Krieger.
Aye.
Commissioner Brady.
Aye.
Commissioner Glenn.
vote. Aye.
Commissioner Prokopef. Commissioner Abbott.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next is the county work session. We have no action items. The general agenda is pretty empty. There's a couple of informational items. There's Public Works Committee minutes from July 14th. We launched the Steele County's new website. You want to talk about that?
Sure, yes. So good evening, commissioners. As you know, we've been working on a new Steele County website, and we are getting ready to launch next Monday. If we have everything scheduled as planned. And I just wanted to show you a little bit about what it looks like. We had some goals in mind. We were looking for an easier way for residents, businesses, and visitors to find information and services more quickly than what we have today. And we wanted to improve the navigation of our site. We wanted cleaner layouts. And we wanted more intuitive search options available. So this is our new site. We'll go ahead and close the pop-up here. And so we'll start just scrolling through. I'll just show you and give you some highlights of what we have. So here's the new site. We have a new slider bar through here. As you can see, we've got some color changes that makes it more visible for ADA compliancy. So for example, the services and forms, if someone was to select that, it would come here to some of the areas that we receive the most phone calls on. So like birth certificate, how do I get a birth certificate? Building permits, election information, data practices requests, and so on down the line. So we have that available. Our news and announcements that we have, they're larger, more visible, easy to see, and we're looking at expanding those news and announcements to include public health announcements, you know, where they're running maybe something dealing with the public, like they had a picnic recently at Manthey Park. You know, we want to start showing those options as well. So that's our news and announcements. And then we have our meetings and events. And this is our calendar. This has changed. So if you can go to all current events and you can select commissioners. And then this would show the commissioners, anything on the commissioner's calendar that's coming up. But let's say you're more interested in what's happening in the Four Seasons. You'll see that this, you can select that, and then the calendar changes over here. And then, for example, Public Health now has a calendar, and you can see they have newborn clinics coming up that you can select and then go and see what those are about. We also have a full view of the calendar. What's nice here is you can see that everything is color coded. So if it's Four Seasons, it's in red. If it's commissioners, it has a blue tab. We've got gray for public health. And then we're looking at adding some veteran services as well on there. And we have a little history that we've added. So about Steele County, we have a lot by lots. There's several hits on the tax information and parcel data. So this brings you directly there. Just click on the button and away you go. And then of course, here's the just general information. So we wanted to cover the top bar really quick, county business. So this lists some of the popular services. So let's just choose, let's say birth certificates. And you'll notice how this has changed. So we'll select birth certificates. What's nice now is it does go right to the recorder's office. So now we have one point of truth, one point of everything goes back to where it's originally housed. So we're not building more pages. It's one page that's built, we're just directing. What I like here is if, let's say you wanted to order through a third party online, you can click Vital Check. What's nice now is it's letting you know that you're leaving our site. Before you wouldn't, we had a disclaimer. Now it's letting you know, hey, you're gonna leave Steele County. Do you wanna leave it or do you wanna stay? You have a choice. You can choose to stay. So that would be the county business. Departments, what we've done with departments is each department actually reviewed and built their own pages. But yet we try to keep it as a family, so we have a family look and everything is very similar to each other. So for example, each department has additional resources, which is located on the left side. If they have a mission statement, responsibilities, we've listed those as well. So just to show you how it's a family, as you've seen the administrator's page, let's go ahead and look at the attorney's page. Nice building shot. You're welcome. Saturday morning before there was much traffic. Here's the attorney's page. Let's also look at community corrections. You'll notice the telephone pole is missing in the background. And the cars are edited out, so. I also thought it would be nice to see the detention center. and how they have all the information over here, that you can select as well. And the sheriff's office is another one to take a look at. The system, that we have now has some unique features that we're learning about. So we don't know all the features, and we're still obtaining some training from Revive's website. We will have some training in 2 weeks and again in 3 weeks of things that we just are still learning about how to use them more efficiently. This is one that I do like. It's a pop-up, so you can close this. And so it's nice because right away if someone goes to the sheriff, it's saying, if you have an emergency, you're calling 911, you can close it and then continue on. So then if we take a look, we've got FAQs. This covers when we're answering phone calls. We started the FAQ listing, and hopefully this will help people go where they need to go to access information. One thing is when fingerprinting, we used to do it in the recorder's office. We don't anymore because some things had changed. But we do it at the detention center. So we listed here, we also have some additional information, but we don't endorse any companies in a particular area. But if you're coming from out of town, it might be better for you to check out other sources. What's nice here is you can click on the Steele County Detention Center, it takes you right to their public fingerprint. And then you can see what times they do it, and then reach out if you need to. Then we have a residence page. The residence is an area of focus for residents. We have an event spaces, parcel information, tax, property tax. Here's notices for board meetings, current news and events, road and transportation, some recycling. So this is basically all residents. For visitors, this focuses on areas of interest for people who are visiting. For example, they could go to the Four Seasons Center and take a look at different things that they have to offer, to look at their calendar for things that are coming up. Then your government is just that. We have links to the federal government, state government, judicial branch. The township officials is a listing that's generated by us. We've got the county department listing and then the county commissioners. Oh, and do you want to see yourselves? Hang on here. There are the commissioners. Nice picture.
Do you want to go all the way down and just show where the agendas and minutes are?
Sure. So right here, on the commissioners page, we have a calendar of your meetings. You can go over here, you can select the board meetings. And then here's the meetings, here's where you can go to video recordings. You scroll down, this is our Civic Plus. Now Civic Plus we added in January. This is where you would go to subscribe if you're interested in any notices for agendas, for packets, and for minutes. And you'd go here, you'd set this up, username, password, go in and make some selections. And then when those are published, then we publish them out to those people who have subscribed. But of course, like always, you can always come to the site and find these documents. So, they're listed here. All right, just a few other items I'd like to show you. We've got top bar. What's really nice is if you're on your cell phone, all you have to do now, in the past you'd have to redial manually if you saw a phone number. Now you can just click and the number is going to show up. That's so modern, but our website was like 12 to 14 years old, hadn't been updated. So now we're catching up to modern times. We have Translate. This is one of my favorites. So we can hit Translate here. It translates roughly 80 different languages. So you can select the button, and now everything on our site has switched over to the language that you select. And we've also updated our ADA, so now we'll be, there it is, there's our ADA. Go to home site. There we go. So what's nice now is you can pick a contrast. You can do bigger text. You can, my favorite is the dyslexia friendly. And then if you do set up everything and it's set up wrong, it's a quick button and you're back to standard. And by the way, that picture is of Beaver Lake, right here. That's at 7 o'clock in the morning. Beautiful and peaceful. So, other thing that I do want to show you is our search. We have a search bar now. This search bar actually searches our website. It doesn't search outside the web, or outside of our website. So if I wanted to type in, let's say recorder, anything on our website that's been identified or filed as a recorder will come up. So pretty nice to have that. And then if you can't find it here, it'll shoot you to another search bar, which then it'll search the entire web, the entire internet. But you can search just our pages. So, and then you can go right back home. That's it. So again, we're looking at launching this on Monday. Any questions or comments?
Mr. Chair, if I may, Rebecca's been working on this since I started, probably with a lot more effort the last year. Working with Revise, she looked at multiple websites to get a sense of the different color schemes, the layouts, the opportunities for drop-down menus, for the scrolling and that kind of thing. Went back to Revise. Revise probably gave her about 2 or 3 different efforts at trying to accommodate all the different things she wanted to blend and merge. She did get rid of all the North Shore photos. I'm sorry about that, because I kind of like some of those, but they're not in Steele County. She took a lot of the photos herself, went and put everything up there, and then on Monday, when they went to do one fix, they broke all of the links for all the photos. She had to go back in and replace all the photos. And she's working with individual departments on a one-on-one basis. And so I do want to publicly recognize the time and the effort that Rebecca put into this, because she took a lot of pride, and I think her efforts are visible by a very high-level quality website for our county.
I agree.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions for Rebecca?
Do people need to re-opt on their notifications, or how does that process work?
Good question. So, for notifications, we are having a training on the notifications. The website, because our previous website is very old, so we're learning the new system, which is an e-notify system. We'll have 4 people in training. We'll learn the system. We've identified anyone who is signed up in the old system. And we'll be sending out emails, letting them know that we're switching to a new site. We plan on doing that now that you've seen it, the commissioners, and it's been announced. We've already pulled that data in to send out emails, letting them know that the website's changed, that they'll have to re-sign up, but we have to learn the new system, and it's a little bit more difficult than what we currently have.
Can I just clarify? Civic Plus remains intact. So anyone that
Yes.
signed up for board agendas, board minutes, they don't have to do anything. That literally remains a link, it's a link today. However, individual departments from time to time would offer opportunities to sign up for web page updates. Again, not board agendas, not board minutes, but web page updates. That's what she's talking about, is we wanna make sure that that functionality works and is monitored in the new web page. And the last thing is that there are some independent web pages out there. So for example, WSB is the host for the East Side Corridor webpage. That is not impacted at all. by anything that we're doing here. So if they had signed up under that WSB site, WSB hosts it, we don't. We don't even control the content, they do. So there are some caveats to that, but for anybody, for example, that wanted to sign up for highway bids, that they're gonna have to do manually and work with Jake Rezak for those until we actually get that notice set up so that it properly funnels to the right staff and that those responses are then noted.
Good question. Any other questions, Rebecca? Thanks, Rebecca. This is time for commissioner reports.
Yeah, I just want to let based on some public comment tonight, I want to let the board know that Renee and I met with the state archivist, Ms. Sean Rollins, today. Had a good conversation. She provided a copy of the email she provided Mrs. Zimmerman and it's like quarter email group. I still firmly believe the county's in full compliance. The policy that you passed last week was not a data retention schedule. It's a policy on enacting or implementing that schedule. That schedule's been in place since the 1980s. The board has adopted that schedule from the state archivist. And so there's no changes to our retention schedule. And this is simply getting Steele County up with the times. Many counties have dealt with this decades ago. And frankly, it's about time that we move the county forward to get up-to-date policies. So I'm very proud that we did that. I will note that the Steele County Times reached out with concerns as well. I anticipate them running a story mimicking the comments tonight, thinking that we're not in compliance. I really disagree. I think you received some free legal advice, and take it as that, free legal advice. My legal advice is that we're in compliance and we're following the law. And so I'm not concerned one bit about the data retention or the data retention schedules of Steele County. In fact, we have phenomenal employees who do this work daily, purging documents, following the schedule, making sure we're up to date and doing good work. And they have been trained that every new employee receives actually video from me about data practices. And so I think we're doing a really good job in keeping up to date on these things. So if you have questions or concerns, please let me know and I'll address them. But other than that, as far as reports, I have just a quick brief on the update our building. Things are moving forward. We're looking for a approximate September, maybe early October movement date. IT is working hard, as well as Jake and facilities crew on getting things ready to go.
Thank you, Rob. Great.
On the 20th, I gave a tour of the county to our now happy to announce new Public Works Director, Jonathan Nelson,
Yes.
I think his name. And I want to give a shout out to Jake, our county engineer. I see he left. Our county engineer, who did a really, really good job about talking to him on a technical level about the projects that we have going, and took us on a tour of those projects. And I sat in the back seat and just listened to the two of them talk about things that were way up here someplace. That was really interesting. And also Josh out at the landfill, which did a really good job of giving him the tour and updating him on the process of the new cell out there and how things are working out there and that sort of thing. And then on 21st, I had Minn Prairie Finance and Joint Powers meeting. And I too want to give Rebecca a shout out. And I hope that the residents of Steele County appreciate all her hard work on that website, because it's a marked improvement, and I think it makes it much easier for people to navigate, and it's a great job.
Great, Jim.
On the 28th, I had a joint ditch meeting with Rice and Steele County and Faribault, and I had the work session before this meeting.
Thank you, Renee.
As you're aware, I attended the MACA, which is the County Administrators Conference last week. And one of the breakout sessions was a presentation from Mower County and Winona County, kind of the lessons learned from their recent cyber attacks. And I really truly want to recognize the board's effort and encouragement for for us to have a continuity of operations specific for cybersecurity. David and his team have been leading us well. When I think of the things that maybe led up to the attacks and the experiences that they had, you know, the mere fact that they were literally frozen out of their computer systems for a period of time, and, you know, they're still recovering. And so I think the fact that we've at least thought it through, thought about what our plan B would be. In fact, we were kind of giggling the fact, you know, I'm kind of committed to my paper. And back in the dark ages, you used to post your meeting notices on your door because that was the official manner of communicating. It was either that or a town crier. We're probably not gonna go the town crier route. But if I can't use Civic Plus, I can literally post our agendas back on the door just like we used to. And it was amazing how many counties hadn't even thought about what they would do to post those official meeting notices when we don't have access to our webpage or we don't have access to our tools. So I was quite proud of all the progress we've made. We realized that there's a lot to learn, and until you're in the midst of it, you don't really know what you don't know. But it was actually, I think, kind of refreshing to hear that you do come out of it. It's just a question of how long and how many bruises. So I found that particular section to be quite important and actually quite helpful, because at least
Winona County got hit twice.
6 months apart. And in one instance, the threat actors have probably been in their systems for over a month, testing firewalls and testing, and it literally was a link in an email. And thank you very much for those know-befores that I sometimes get cranky about. And the fish alerts, you know, we are tested regularly. There was a picnic hosted by Chili's that was sent out as an invite, and it was a phishing attempt, but it was a simulated phishing attempt by our know-before. The first giveaway should have been, we don't have a Chili's in Owatonna, but there were a few other, you know, giveaways, I think, in terms of how that was communicated. But, so I just wanted to say that we've got a good team guiding us, and we'll probably have more of these conversations in the future. We just keep talking about what our reaction's gonna be, what our response will be, and we have to hope we never ever get hit.
Thanks, Renee. Josh? Oh, forgot about you, Jim. You got a report?
I do. On the 21st, I attended the Mid-Prairie Joint Powers Board meeting and our work session before today's meeting.
Thank you, Josh.
On the 27th, I had Sparrow Board. This morning, we had internal central services, and then the work session today.
I attended the meeting for the History Center in Blooming Prairie last Monday. This morning at Internal Central Services. This morning, JD number 19, ditch meeting in Faribault, and the work session today. Next on the agenda is, I'm sure, board wishes.
So,
Second. We need a roll call vote?
Commissioner Krieger.
Aye.
Commissioner Brady.
aye.
Commissioner Glenn.
Aye.
Commissioner Prokopek.
Aye.
Commissioner Abbey.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thanks, everyone, for coming, and have a wonderful evening.